Welcome to Hardheaded Podcast. It's time to join the conversation.
Welcome to another episode of Hardheaded. Matt Amos here with Chet Sears and Troy Trussell.
Sponsored by Trussell Media and Admiral's Pennant.
Check them out on the webs.
.coms.
Today we're going to have what's on Chet's mind. We've got our top 3 bottled water brands. And then Troy is going to bring us a good word. Let's start out with Chet. What is on your mind?
Well, there's let me tell you, there's so much on my mind right now. It's hard to even sort it out. One of the things that I'm pretty upset about is, have you ever noticed in Hollywood, this is a side note, by the way, whenever somebody pulls a gun on somebody like behind their back, then it always makes a noise. Have you ever noticed that?
Like what kind of noise? Like whoosh,
whoosh. They're just like, even when they're not cocking it, but it's like, I pulled a gun out and now there's a noise to let you know I pulled a gun out.
Oh, yeah.
You've noticed that?
Yeah, I have noticed that.
You haven't noticed that?
No, I guess not necessarily. What I do notice is that a gun clicks, but it's a
striker fire. When it's empty, it's like click, 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 click. Yeah.
Yeah, that, or you hear them cocking the hammer, and it's like that doesn't have a hammer.
Yeah, that's a lot of times. And then I like it when they always chamber around in a shotgun before they shoot a pump shotgun. Even after they've shot and chambered another round, the next time you see them in a scene,
you just ejected the round, fool.
Anyway, I was just thinking about that the other day.
All right, so
I've got this adventure. I may have bitten off more than I'm willing to chew on this deer stand. Did I tell you guys about my deer stand?
Yes.
No.
It is a massive. So we've basically the lease that we're on is there's a lot of CRP in it and a lot of deer move through it, but you can't get anywhere where you can see the deer and get a good clean shot. If you see a deer, you're not seeing the whole body, all this kind of stuff. So I found this, it's like a quad pod is what it's called.
Box blind?
Game winner.
Type.
No. It's all metal. And the stand itself, it's like metal legs. You assemble them, bolt them together, and it's got a metal grate, and it's got a post in the middle for a seat, and it swivels around, and you get a shooting rail that goes all around that. So I bought that, and I'm like, oh, this will work because it's easier to set up, even if it took forever to assemble. We can put it out there. 2 guys can move it. Like, you can pick it up and move it, and then you have these big stakes to put the legs in the ground and whatnot. Set it out in the middle of the CRP. Hunted out of that thing.
1 season?
No, 3. Wow. Three seasons. And I got to respond to this text. And they,
I'm glad that text was more important.
We have a mutual friend driving through Louisiana, and they stopped in Ruston for the night. And he's like, "Where do I eat?" Oh. And so I got to respond. It's urgent.
Yeah, that is urgent news. He better be a listener.
Hot Rods is where he is, where he's going, which is the former Barbecue City. Yeah. Yeah. And he had said you had to get the beans.
There you go.
Okay.
Boom. All right.
So, anyway, one year we go out there, and the spread just left up all year. And then, it was after the spring, it had blown over. I'm like, oh, that stinks. Stand it back up, put the stakes back in it. That's that. Last year, before hunting season, went out there and it had blown over and flipped and rolled and like it got caught up in a tornado, crushed it. Like the legs are bent and there's no way this thing's standing up and it's not safe. All right. It's shot. Like, well, forget this. I'm not buying another one of these because they're pretty expensive. Not like a
Did you kill any deer out of it?
Yeah.
Well, it was worth it then.
What kind of question is that?
Not any big ones.
Then it was worth it.
Yeah, big deer. I don't hunt horns, Matt. I don't hunt horns. You can't eat them. Big deer.
He hunts horns even when it's
Massive
not
deer.
when it's not deer season.
Yeah, he's
shed hunting.
So I'm like, well, I'm going to build a box blind. And back in the day, my dad was a deer stand builder Like he'd just come up with new concepts, all kinds of crazy concepts, and he would just design them and build them. So it's typically started with a 4x4 pallet, the pallet, the shipping pallet. And then one time, where he wanted to put it, the way it needed to face on this little road and a power line or whatever, he's like, well, I'm not going to put 4 corners for the roof because I need to swing the rifle that way. So he made a tripod roof, like had a thing. And then another one, he was like, I don't want it to have such a high wind load all the time. And he made it where you could undo a couple of wing nuts and collapse the roof, fold it down on top of itself. Just all kinds of stuff. I'm like, hey, I'm gonna keep my dad's memory alive by building a box blind. So I get my buddy Tim and Jeremy, the guys I'm on the lease with, and like, hey, I think I'm just gonna build one. Like, and they're like, oh, okay, is it gonna be as big as the quad pod was? Because it could comfortably have 2 hunters. The seat in the middle, the post, was actually for 2. It was a 2-seat system. So you'd have to swivel at the same time, but you could change the backs where you could face opposing directions. And it was a nice little setup, but it was kind of, comfortable but tight. And I'm like, yeah, I'll make it big enough for that. Let me figure that out. So that's not a 4x4, right? We're gonna have to get bigger than that. And I'm thinking, okay, is that like a 4x6? Well, 6 out of 4, yeah. I ended up going 6x8 here, fellas.
Yeah.
So if we all 3 wanted to hunt out of it, and one of our kids wanted to take a nap in a cot in there, we got room for that too. Like it's massive. So I had this idea last deer season, and so I started out. I built the floor, and when Gander was going out of business of their hunting gear, I went there and I bought those. They got these special brackets that you bolt on for deer stands, and a 4x4 post slides up in there, and it's just easy structure.
It wasn't Gander, it was
Gander Outdoors, Gander RV. Yeah,
was it Gander? That one, I guess that was Gander.
So the RV store that they went to, Gander, whatever it is, they had a hunting section, and they're like, we're closing this hunting section out.
Oh, I remember because I'm still reaping the benefits of the.
I bought you some stuff there.
No, I went and bought.
I told you to go buy stuff there.
So I went and I bought
your
every last bucket of Lucky Buck they had because it was on sale for $7.
Yeah. You're welcome. I already used all mine.
I bought a lot.
I bought some, and then I told you. So anyway, I had enough
Lucky Buck
time to get the platform built. So we went out there, put the platform up. It was heavy, got it up, and then just football season came on. I was going up to too many games in Manhattan, and just time got away. So when deer season came around, I just put a ground blind on top of the platform. And so we were running screws down into hold the ground blind down, and got up in there, crawled in there. There's plenty of space. Had like a porch and all that kind of stuff because 6x8 is pretty big. So this year, Tim and I are like, dude, we gotta get off our butts and make this happen. So over a few weeknights and a weekend here or there, I build out the walls. And so I build a wall, I get the design. I got graph paper and everything. Looks like I'm real formal doing this. And then the first one, I go ahead and skin it, build the stud walls, put the plywood on the outside, and then I go to move it, like put it out of the way so we get the car in the garage and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, ooh, this is a pretty heavy wall. I don't know if I want to do this with all the other ones, so put that one up, build the next wall, build the next wall, build the next wall. So my buddy Tim and I, and we have this, I've been talking to you about how do we anchor this thing, right? Because that's an important thing. Everything's
big
windy.
time.
So Matt gave us a few ideas on anchoring, and we've settled on the anchor it directly under it. No, don't run a whole bunch of guy wires everywhere. Bear with me, Matt.
I'm bearing.
And so that's what we decided to do. Well, anyway, we get out there and go, and we were out there for all day. We had all day scheduled to be there. Had some other stuff to do, and he's like, "What do you want to do first?" I said, "Dude, it's a high wind day, and we're out here early. We need to get those walls up." And he's like, "Oh, it ain't gonna be nothing to get those walls." I said, "Dude, we got that one skinned. It's gonna be a sail as soon as we try to lift that thing up there." So we went ahead and assembled everything, and it was the one with the plywood on it was really tough to get there, get up there. And then we got the rafters hung, and we're ready to put the roof on it and skin it, but that wasn't the plan for the day. And we did some work for the anchoring, but we didn't anchor it yet because there's all kinds of stuff, sacks of Quickcrete and drying and all this stuff going on that we worked on, but weren't able to secure it. And where we are right now is I'm in between having put that thing up, knowing there's a sale on that, and we've had 2 red flag 50 to 60 mile an hour wind days since
You've been there?
I've been there. And I fear with all my being that thing is blown over and shattered to 1,000 toothpicks.
Nope. The wall's going to be fine.
No,
It may rip out of the floor.
no, it's gonna tump the whole thing over.
Oh, because you haven't secured it down.
Right.
Oh, it's gone.
That's what I'm
It's
afraid
gone.
of. Give me some hope, man.
I was trying.
Yeah.
She gone.
But I mean, but I will say that once you put it all back together and
I don't know. I'm limited on what I'm able to accomplish between now and hunting season. September's right around the corner.
3 months.
I know.
No, 4 months. 4 months.
Barely.
You got 4 months.
I've got stuff to do too.
But I will say this: if it comes down to it, I am somewhat free from now until August, the 1st of August. Anyway,
Go plant for me.
I'm not going to go plant.
If you're going to offer help,
I was going to say
put some stuff in the ground.
I could help you get those walls up there with the tractor. I could just lift them up, but might make it a little easier.
Well, here's the thing: if it just tipped over and didn't disassemble itself, we used hurricane straps and everything on the right. I mean, it's should be still together. There ain't no way we could pick that thing up. I'll have to have your tractor to get that thing tilted back up.
Or a truck.
How? What do you do with a truck to lift something up like that?
So you pull kind of like a pulley type deal, but you tack the back legs down
Yeah.
where you're going to pull from, and then run because you don't have a roof on it yet, right?
I did not like a solid core roof now.
So then you'd run like just a toe strap up over the top down to like the bumper, and then just back it. Yeah. Oh, I've done it
And then it's going to have to
not 100 times, but I've done it a few times.
But then I'm not going to be able to move it where it needs to go. Like this thing.
Well, yeah, but at that point, then you just strap it around the base and then drag it.
The base is massive. These legs are going to
6 by 8.
I'm telling you, man, I'm nervous about this. I haven't lost sleep, but I'm pretty close.
You won't have to worry about it if it's in a million pieces. All right. If it's in one piece, then you got a little bit more to worry about because it's harder to move. You
got to go there and light that thing on fire. Just forget I ever did it.
Because that was the tricky part when I was lifting my my redneck blind, which doesn't weigh as much as yours does with all that wood.
Yeah.
But when you get it to that point of where it's going to tip and settle, you're worried about it.
It'll roll. It'll keep going.
So, but that's why we got it up there and we staked those legs down the best we could, and then so when it tipped, hopefully those wouldn't come out of the ground. But that was dicey, even with that one. And mine, it was like, holy crap, this thing was expensive. I don't want to break anything on it when it tips this way, which fortunately we had one guy with no legs in a wheelchair. We had me, and then we had another guy. And somehow we made it work.
It worked out.
Yeah.
Well, so.
But if you need the tractor, let me know.
I literally went from, man, I'm so excited about this deer season because it's going to be awesome. My buddy Tim's even like, I'm sleeping in there, dude. It's this. I'm going to bring Mr. Buddy, and because it's massive. It's big. I was thinking about putting a camper door in that thing, because you're watertight and lockable, but those things are $400.
Oh,
You believe that?
that's ridiculous.
That is. Yeah. So anyway, that's what's been on my mind. It's been weighing on me. I hope it works out. I'm gonna turn cartwheels, and then all this anchoring stuff. So your opinion matters nothing in comparison to my wife's, because my wife is a structural engineer. Mm-hmm. I showed her everything. It's this thing is going to be able to, like, you can go there to seek shelter after I'm going to get done with it if it's still standing. Right. Yeah, I got this thing figured out.
That's a big
tensile strength, compression strength. Oh my gosh, it's going to be. I'm going to have it where it can handle dynamic loads, wind shears.
So here's my thing with you're strapping it down the way it needs to be strapped down and the way that I set it.
Yeah,
it's not like I came up with that on my own. Mine actually came from an engineer, Ron.
Yeah,
is the one who told me to.
Structural engineer.
Yeah.
Does he know about snow load?
Metal buildings for however many years and a multi-million-dollar. Yeah, he knows exactly what he's doing.
I'll allow it.
Matter of fact, when I wanted to build the cover for my deck on my hunting cabin, and I was like, can I just? Do you think if I put like a one of those C channels or just a square piece of 4-inch metal tubing, and then I bolt that up there to the house, and then I run the rafters on top of that, and then screw them down, and then put sheet metal over the top of that, just for a simple cover for the top of that. I go, Ron, do you think that'll work? And he goes, no, no. He goes because snow load. He goes wind load and snow load are the same. He said so. He goes, out there you don't have much wind, or much snow, but you got a lot of wind. So you always got to be prepared for the wind. And he goes, you got to be prepared for the updraft. And he goes, so if the wind comes through there and it goes up, he goes, it's going to lift that thing. It's going to tear your entire cabin apart.
Yeah.
And he goes, give me a week and I'll get back to you. So he came back a week later and he had these plans drawn up, like literal plans.
Yeah.
With like exactly what you needed and everything. And my simple little cover for my deck was going to be $10,000. And I said,
sorry,
no, I'm not doing that, Ron. And he goes, well, I'm pretty sure I've got some scrap laying around here somewhere, And I'm like, not that much. Yeah. He goes, but really the only, he goes, what would really be good is if you just put a cover over the whole thing, because then you don't have to worry about your roof leaking or anything else. And you got this really nice cover. It stays shady and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, that would be great. What's that going to run me? He goes, about the same price. And I was like,
Nope.
Not
doing it. Well, anyway, there we are. I'll let you guys know of my saga. I probably won't podcast about it unless I've got emotional damage.
You should send pictures and then we can just post them to the Facebook page of your.
Yeah. When you're out there.
Either joy or your complete despair.
No, when you're out there, just video it. As you're walking
up, your first impressions.
Video your face as you're walking.
You'll hear my crying.
You'll hear his potty mouth.
Yeah. It's massive.
Oh man, that's cool. All right, well, let's get into a break.
Are you driving traffic to your website? Do you have an engaging homepage? Better yet, does your homepage have a video? We recently created a video for a client about his business and the services they provide. Since he placed the video on the homepage of their website, he has had a number of clients specifically say they decided to use his services because of that video. At Trussell Media, we help businesses create engaging videos to host on their websites, email to clients, and use in their social media marketing. Contact us if you're interested in creating a video for your homepage today. TrussellMedia.com. Fill out the form at TrussellMedia.com/contact. Let us help you tell your story through video.
And we're back with our top 3 bottled water brands.
This is going to be interesting.
Troy, lead it off.
Number 3, Pure Life.
Wrong.
Oh.
Wrong. Wrong.
I don't mind it. It's cheap. It's refreshing.
Non-flavored, just the one that tastes like dirt.
Yeah. That's the one.
All right. That didn't make my list.
Number 2, Ozarka. I'm drinking it right now.
Me too. No, wait. We got
Proudly Texan brand. The Ozarka brand. Yep. It's good. It tastes really good. I like it.
That's not a bad
one. It's pretty cheap too. Number 1, Sea Force by Chuck Norris.
Chuck Norris has water?
I've never drank it, but I figure it could kick all the other water's butts.
Yeah, Chuck Norris has water.
So I put it on.
He actually does.
1.
I remember hearing about that a few years ago.
It is off of his ranch land that he owns, and they bottle it and ship it out from his ranch right there in Texas.
Awesome. Chuck Norris water.
It's called Sea Force.
Yep.
I'm going to have to order some now, see if it's any good, but I'm sure it is.
It's got a little kick.
Probably tastes a lot like Ozarka because they're both in Texas.
Maybe. I don't know. Chet, what do you got?
Well, I'm going to start with Great Value because that's what I drink the most of by the case.
Terrible.
I normally have a case in the back of my truck.
It's trash.
It's better than Pure Life.
It is better than Pure Life.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is. Pure Life is like on the
mud.
bottom of the, it's right next to the sewer.
Yeah.
Number 2, Arrowhead spring water. It's got a maroon label. That's if I have my preferences when I'm at the the gas station, that's what I'm reaching for. Number 1, and I've had this, Sea Force. It's fantastic. I love it. I was
you're
going along
playing
with you.
devil's
I've actually had it. I
advocate.
bought it when I was down there on a Lake Fork trip.
Nice.
It's great. It's really good water. It comes from his spring in Texas, like a spring on his property.
Yep.
And he and his wife help manage the harvesting of that water and bottling and all that. It's fantastic.
They should sell it in glass bottles
Why?
because glass is better for you than plastic.
It's I've never eaten either one of those.
Yeah, but you get plastic,
Microplastics.
in the water that you drink.
get it. If plastic is healthier or glass is healthier, I don't eat either of them.
Oh, I got it. It was terrible. It was a good dad joke,
You like that?
but yeah. So he should
Yeah.
bottle it, and I think they all should. Let's go glass.
Yeah, it's good stuff, man. I'm a fan of Sea Force. It's red.
Sea Force.
It's pretty cool. Okay.
Matthew.
Number 3, Kirkland, the Costco water,
That's pretty good.
because that's what I have every day, pretty much.
Still?
We get it at home.
Oh, okay. You can still get it at work?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Right now we have, I don't want to say because it's a pretty valuable asset. We got around 6 cases at the office right now.
Okay.
Pretty big deal.
Yeah.
That's how you know you've made it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Number 2, Essentia.
Bless you.
That's the name of the water. It's got the little black, white, red logo.
Oh, yeah. ESS, Essentia, like essential.
Yep.
I know what you're talking about. That's that pH balanced,
Yep.
whatever.
And you can literally
Pay too much for it.
taste the difference. Like I
No, you can taste the difference of smart water because they add electrolytes.
I don't like smart water.
It's too expensive.
Yeah, I bet in a blindfolded taste test we wouldn't know.
I bet I would.
I bet you wouldn't.
Dude, let's have one.
Let's have one.
Let's do it.
You wouldn't know.
We're going to do it.
I would be able
$5. I'll put $5 on that.
Okay,
Hey, next
we'll do it.
live episode,
And
we're going to have a water
I'm not betting that I
drinking
would know.
contest.
I'm betting you won't know.
Oh, I'll know.
I'm telling you, I can't tell the difference.
You give me the waters that I drink, I'll know.
I'm going to give you the waters that I choose.
No, if I haven't had them, I don't know what they are.
Okay, deal. I'm not spending $5 on a bottle of Essentia though.
That's $2.
That's bougie water.
I mean, whatever.
All right, what's number 1?
Well, I was going to go with some volcano water, but
What's volcano water?
it's a Hawaiian water
Oh,
that comes from a volcano.
water doesn't come from
I
volcanoes.
said the same thing. I don't get it.
Lava comes from volcanoes.
There you go.
I've
man.
said the same thing.
Which is magma that has come to the surface.
Magma.
But my number 1 is Evian.
Yeah, I'll tell you. And I that didn't make my list because I had it in Europe when I remember like, oh my gosh, this water is so good. I was in high school in Europe on a trip, and we had struck out on a few restaurants, a few meals for a couple of days in a row, and things just weren't going well. And I just remember being real thirsty one day, and got some Evian. I'm like, this is the best water I've ever had. But that's the only time I felt that way about it.
Now, what I will say is that if we're going to do a taste test, it may be difficult for me to differentiate between Essentia and Evian, because it almost tastes like a thicker water than when you drink.
I'm gonna have to pour it in something because I'm not giving you the bottle to touch.
No. You pour it in whatever you want.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But those two waters seem to coat your mouth a little bit better than Costco or any of the other.
You need a glass, plastic, straw, no straw?
Glass. I don't drink anything out of a straw.
Okay.
Except pop.
Coke. It's called Coke.
I don't drink Coke. I also don't snort.
Coke is pop here.
You were just drinking a Coke.
Literally. What is this? Look, you got one right here, man. It's not even open yet.
Oh my gosh.
I don't drink Coke.
I can't trust this guy.
Jeez.
What in the world?
I was waiting for one of you two to catch that.
Hey, have you guys ever used your the search function?
Did you shake it?
No. On your pictures?
Yeah, I just found out about that.
Did you?
It's awesome. I use it a lot now.
It's crazy. That's scary.
It's AI, baby.
You didn't know that?
No.
I've been doing that I was in the same amount of shock that you guys were when I found out about it.
Yeah.
I'm here for John Connor.
Because I was going through my phone one day. That's like 3 years ago, at least 3-4 years ago. And I was like, man, I'm looking for this picture of this stupid deer. And one of the guys in camp was like, well, you can just go to that little search bar and type deer, and it'll bring up all the deer in your phone.
I looked for
scary.
My license plate number today using it because I was like, oh, I bet I got a picture of my
I
license
knew
plate.
I had a picture of the case of Chuck Norris water. So I just went to my pictures and searched bottle, and every picture with any bottle in it showed up.
Yeah, it's wild.
Like instantly.
Yeah, you can type. I was looking for a picture the other day, and it was my yard.
Yeah, then it saves your searches, doesn't it?
And so I clicked. Now I was looking for a picture of my socks, and I couldn't find my socks. So I just put green, and then it came up.
You know what's awesome? Let's run a quick little test here, fellas.
Yeah, look, recently searched. I did fish. Tattoo.
Do fish,
video camera.
fish, and then tell me how many photos show up. We're about to have a contest.
39 for fish.
No, it says 116
for fishing. Oh, yeah, right there. Sorry.
How many show up in yours?
475.
What?
I've got 934 total photos of fish.
That's not you, though. That's other people.
So?
You got me beat. I was about to smoke all you guys. But
No,
he's
you weren't.
He's over here taking. He's like a fishing trip photographer. I got 256.
Look at that.
And they're me holding
Look
fish.
at that little peacock bass.
Dude, I caught the smallest fish of my life at Lake Fork, my last trip.
Yeah, because my mom was like, send me that photo of Noah and the big fish.
Yeah.
So I just sent it to her in like 10 seconds. Sweet.
Anyway, so listeners, if you didn't know that,
You're welcome.
now you know. If you did know that, you know that I'm way behind the technologies.
Yeah, bad boy.
That is pretty awesome. All right.
Big
well,
fish.
we can't look at pictures because Troy gets nervous about dead air
I do.
on the phone.
I do. On the radio.
So we're going to move
Podcast.
into a good word from Troy.
All right. So the good word is gift. G-I-F-T. Gift. So, I mean, when people think about religion as a whole in itself,
Think about earning.
people think about earning. And how can I be a good person? Surely I won't be a bad enough person to get sent to hell. Surely I'm not as bad as that person.
Like, what do I have to do to get my...
What I have
can
to do
I do
to get my reward? What do I need to do to get to there? But I'm here to tell you,
Believe.
there's nothing that you can do because your salvation is a gift. Salvation from Christ, from God, is a gift. There's nothing you can do. So, for grace, you have been saved through faith, and this is not your own doing. It is the gift of God. That is Ephesians 2:8. And so you can be a good person, but that's not going to get you the gift of salvation. So,
you can't earn a gift.
No, a gift is given to you. You have done nothing to deserve it. So
I wish I'd have known that that's what you're going to talk about, because I would have gone back. There was a guy who'd been a Christian for a long, long time and struggled with works, and he goes, when I finally came to the realization that there was nothing that I could do. And he had it was a really good story of and really great write-up of how that changed, how his thought process changed in his faith once he did that. It was crazy. I'm going to have to go find it and I'll send it to you guys later, but it was super good read.
Yeah.
Eye-opening for me in some ways too, because it's like all these things we do that we try to,
it's like, it's in our nature, to be like, check the box, do things. Yeah.
Because that's the way we've been conditioned.
Yeah.
And this is, you literally have to do nothing.
Yeah. Or well, you have to have faith and believe.
But you don't have to do.
But you don't have to do.
Right.
And that's where that was the difference in his thought process. Was he always thought that that having faith meant doing, and that's not what it is. So
yeah. And this kind of came from
that faith will make you do things a certain way.
Right.
But it's not doing those certain. It was just a flip flop of thinking for him that was just really cool.
And this came from a sermon series that we're doing at our church. It goes over 3 questions that the Pharisees asked Jesus, and it got into. I think this past Sunday was the question of why do you eat on the Sabbath? And his disciples were picking the grain and eating, and so they were, charging them with working on the Sabbath. And so, yeah, and how the Pharisees just built laws around everything because they wanted to keep the law holy and they wanted to do good and check the box.
The old way.
Yep.
Yeah, but Christ came not to abolish the law, but to fulfill the law, because the law points people to Christ. So,
because the law shows you can't do it on your own.
Yep.
You just can't. It's impossible.
And it's a gift.
Awesome.
All right.
Good
Thanks
work.
for listening.
Thanks, Troy.
Yeah, you're welcome.
We'll see you all next week.
Thanks for listening to the Hardheaded Podcast. Don't forget to share this podcast with others to help us get the word out.
Also, if you haven't yet, please rate and review the show. This helps our podcast show up in other people's suggested shows that may or may not have listened to us before.
Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.